Imagine a wave that believes it's separate from the ocean. It struggles to prove itself, terrified or disappearing. But the wave never left the ocean. It is the ocean. Hey guys, it's John sitting here in my sit and love room, and I'm having a wonderful morning. I hope you're having a great time wherever you are. Sitting here with my fabulous mug of coffee. This concept of the wave in the ocean is interesting because the wave is the greater expression of the divinity of everything. It is the source of all. And if you think about the wave is just a shape that does not exist without the ocean itself. But when the wave itself believes it's individual, it loses that connection. And in reality, we are connected to everything and everyone. The world is expansive, just like an ocean. The world is our awareness that we all come together to live. And the wave, the motion in that expansiveness is our individual self. We can't exist without the ocean. We can't do anything without the ocean. We can't enjoy the ride without the ocean. We can't crash without the ocean. Waves rise, they dance, they fall back. They're never apart from the ocean. Even even when the wave reaches the shore and appears to die, it doesn't actually die. It's still part of the ocean. And the wave will come again, and the wave will continue to come. Identity is a temporary form. No wave lasts forever, but it always goes back to that infinite source. Our roles, our definitions of self, our labels, parent, worker, friend, those are waves, temporary but not separate. We do those things, but as we identify with those labels and those definitions, we tend to forget we're part of a greater whole. And suffering happens when we cling to that wave's form. Oftentimes, I'll meet people who are coming to retirement. Their whole life is defined by the label of their career. Now they don't know what they're going to do because that wave has come to an end. But the key is the mind can create the next motion. The mind can say, okay, now I'm going to enjoy this part of my life. I'm going to go create some new purpose for me. I'm going to go help others. And you start creating new waves. The waves are constantly being created, but they're being created by our own thoughts, our own beliefs. And peace comes when we identify that we're part of the ocean as a whole and that we get to play with the water by becoming the wave and creating the new experience. Now, when you sit down in a room and you sit quietly, when you sit there in your mind, the first thing you have to shut off is the definition of the wave. What's going on in my world today? What's crazy? What do I have to get done? What are all these things? But when you sit down, you just notice the chatter of the identity of the wave, your thoughts, your emotions, the waves. And the more you let go of those thoughts in the present moment and just sit in love, sit in that experience, you'll notice the sensations. And you'll realize that your thoughts and emotions are the wave identity, but they are connected in the oneness of God.
And now, a quick word from our sponsor Coffee Time with John. This channel runs off coffee, so get your coffee and tea at johnsjoe.com.
When you need a break from these labels, from these definitions, from these expressions of self, one of the things you can do is literally, learn your practice of meditation. For me, it's called sitting in love. I simply exhale and I come back to that place of feeling. And in that feeling, I notice that feeling feels good, feels relaxed, it feels like love. And I realize that the core of myself is the ocean. And in that ocean, I just rest in that without having to have an identity for a while, without having to have a label for a while. And I allow all forms to happen around me without grasping or resisting. The fear of death dissolves. The ocean never dies. It's always there. It's always flowing. This concept of the metaphor of the ocean lets us know that we are safe unless we think we're not. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. The Buddha said the secret to enlightenment is the eradication of fear, but fears are thoughts. They're waves. They create the feeling that we're separate. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. That valley of the shadow of death, not death, but the shadow of it. We're coming down into this awareness of this concept called death, and we get our mind, our thoughts, wrapped around the concept of death, and we label it as death. And then what happens is the fear of death dissolves when you go back into this oneness, because you realize even in death we go back to the oneness. Even when the wave crashes on the shore, it goes it's still the ocean. It still goes back and becomes another thought, another wave. The fear of loss softens. It's all arising and returning in one movement. The more you rest in that ocean, love deepens. Every wave is the same ocean expressing. And the more you stay in this concept of being the ocean and not the wave, you create a new expression in life. You start to realize that everything you're experiencing is the ocean. There's a Hindu proverb that says the drop dropped its name and became the ocean. The concept of the drop dropping its name and becoming the ocean is a beautiful expression. It allows us to realize that we are more than just the wave identity. We are the ocean itself. You're not the wave fearing its end. You're the ocean that has never left itself. If this metaphor opens something up in you, share it. Tell people that they're not alone. Tell people that they're part of a greater whole that is love. Invite more people to remember who they truly are. And in that invitation, you are delivering opportunity. In that invitation, you are choosing to deliver love. You're choosing to deliver the ocean to the waves so the waves can decide their new destinations. And that's my thought on this. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.